Katey Lesneski, and I work at the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. I'm based in Key Largo, and I run the research and the monitoring coordination for a program called Mission Iconic Reefs, which is a multi-decade holistic approach to restoring 7 of the Florida Keys' historically most iconic coral reefs. So this year, even back in the spring, the North Atlantic Ocean was showing some of the highest temperatures ever recorded. That trend continued all throughout the rest of the spring, the summer, and even into the fall, which translated into very high temperatures in the Caribbean, the tropical Western Atlantic, and even here off the coast of Florida and in the Florida Keys. So by August, in some areas, we were seeing on the reef bottom temperatures of up to 94 degrees Fahrenheit. That is incredibly warm, record-breaking for some reef areas, and that had pretty profound effects on a lot of the marine life here. So there are a number of factors at play here that have led to these very warm temperatures in the North Atlantic and again in the Caribbean. One of those is the El Nino period that we are in. So with El Nino, particularly in this region, we're seeing oftentimes calmer wind. And so we don't get a lot of mixing of water, which can help cool it down. In addition to that, and probably the most significant factor, is global climate change. So with the rampant excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which traps heat, the air temperature becomes warmer, and then that translates directly to warmer ocean temperatures. So unfortunately, very early on this spring, we were starting to see impacts here in multiple marine ecosystems in the Florida Keys. So here, the Florida Keys are primarily known for their coral reefs. Corals are actually animals, and they build these really impressive structures that help to actually protect the shorelines here. And they provide habitat for many things that we love to see, like sea turtles and conch and lobster that people like to eat. And so quite early on, the corals were exhibiting signs of heat stress in the form of what we call bleaching. And that is when corals actually lose their color that they have in their tissues. And the color is actually coming from a symbiotic algae that helps to feed the coral. The coral provides it a home. And so when temperatures or other conditions, if there's too much light, actually if it's too cold, coral can also undergo bleaching. So they lose that food source, they lose their color, and all that's left behind is clear tissue and the white skeleton in the background. If conditions don't improve within weeks to months, the coral can actually die. And then we see a cascading effect where the coral will actually disintegrate. We lose the structure of the reef. We lose the habitat of the reef. We were seeing the death of seagrass, the death of sponges, which help to filter the water, and unfortunately a number of fish kills because the water was just so warm there. So this is something that I have spent quite a bit of time recently discussing with my colleagues because we do want to be prepared for what might happen this coming summer and summers into the future, especially in terms of responding to these events, if we're able to rescue any corals, but as well as being prepared to monitor and to collect data in the best way possible. And right now, we are taking the cautious approach and anticipating more widespread and intense bleaching events like the one we've seen this past summer, so that, again, we are prepared as best as we can be for any type of intervention that we can employ. I remember when I was in elementary school, during one of our science class sessions, my teacher showed us pictures of a coral reef. And I grew up in New England. I grew up swimming in ponds and lakes, which are very green, really just one color. So I was blown away by the fact that this reef and this one coral head had so many different colors and different animals on it. And so ever since then, I've always just kind of wanted to know more about the science behind the beauty of what I was seeing. And I've been incredibly fortunate and able to do just that.